It's a delight to have you on the program, 60 Minutes Nigeria. I'm always excited to have you because it delights my heart that you wait patiently to be part of this program so you can also make your impact on the talk show. It is a current affairs program where we dissect national issues, and a lot has been happening in Nigeria that we must discuss on today's program. I have with us a very distinguished personality, a legal luminary, and a professor of law, Professor Job Ojo. Nice to have you with us today.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Yes. We also have with us very distinguished academics and a man that has made a mark in terms of statistics. He is the head of the statistics department, Benson Dawson University. I hope I didn't get it wrong. Okay. I will correct that. We'll get that right later. Well, we have an academic, a renowned one for that, Dr. Maxwell Osage. You know, lecturers, they are moving, yes. So we get to know his new destination now. Yes. Okay, let's have you, Dr. Maxwell, on the program 60 Minutes Nigeria. Yeah. We are looking at what I would call a very pronounced name in the political scene in Nigeria, Godfather. In this case, our focus is in Rivers State. Only midnight of Wednesday, President Ahmed Tinubu gave an instruction that Governor Fubara should resume after a 6 months suspension and a state of emergency imposed in Rivers State with a retired admiral superintending. Now, if you know the story, I'll give you the background that before the suspension of Governor Fubara, there was political crisis in Rivers State. The godfather of Fubara, Yeson Wike, who is now minister of the FCT, had problems with his progeny, with his successor, with the man he produced. That's the language in the political scene. And the crisis was very, very disturbing to the extent that President Tinubu needed to intervene and suspended Fubara and a state of emergency imposed. For 6 months, Fubara realized that it was not a good thing at all, not being governor. Well, it's not for me to do all the talking. We'll just start the talking with Professor Job Ojo. Now, some persons say legally that it was an affront on democracy, the suspension of Governor Fubara and the state of emergency imposed. But we have passed that stage now. Maybe you just clear that a little. But Governor Fubara is back. The same president allowed him to be back. You want to relate this to our constitution and, of course, democratic tenets.
Okay, thank you, Rosa. Good afternoon once more. To our viewers at home. Well, I know I was on this panel, or a similar panel, when we discussed the suspension, when it was fresh.
Yes.
And all these, rhetorics about legality, or constitutionality, rented the whole air.
Yes.
And I know I took a stand right here and I said that constitutionally it is possible, to suspend the governor of the state if the emergency powers are invoked and the president and the National Assembly see it necessary at that time, to remove the apparatus of governance at that level or at the level of the legislature, and then install a military administrator as they did, a temporary one for that matter.
Okay.
If they believe that restoring law and order, that the emergency rule will
yes.
remove certain persons and fairly democratic rule, suspend some organs of government which they did, and then I made allusion to what had happened in other countries, and of course during the First Republic. Well, funny enough, they are in court over this matter, even though they become academic really. But I think that now that that impasse is over, within the 6 months of the suspension of the government,
yes,
and in the legislature too, because not only the government but the lawmaking body were suspended. And no, we didn't hint that it should be 6 months as a fence-making process, fence mending.
yes,
to reconcile all the warriors, reconcile all the stakeholders, so that when they are coming back, they'll be coming fresh, they must have learned their lessons. I also said here that the governor will be missing his office as governor, and all those who surrounded him, they probably guided him into taking some reasonable step in quotes to avoid the debacle then. And we would have also known that they probably pushed him to the edge. And then with the House of Assembly members too, the Amefule group and
yes,
they also learned their lesson. Everybody learned their lesson, including the Minister Wike, the Godfather as you call it. I believe everybody learned their lessons. The entire state of Rivers State learned their lessons. It was a turning point in their political history, and I think they've talked to themselves, I assume, we hope so, that the president has now done the needful, because by the proclamation for 6 months, if the crisis persisted, if there was no turning point, no improvement, then we have asked for maybe another 3 months extension of the National Assembly. We may proclaim and then go to ratify or endorse at the National Assembly. But now, from what we saw yesterday, it's clear, or it appears that the coast is clear. They've seen that there's peace, that they've agreed to work together. Maybe they have an undertaking they've all signed that we are not privy to.
okay.
So which means that's why now, more like restored the governor and the deputy National Assembly back to office. And we also believe that the National Assembly will be notified so they can ratify appropriately, because this is our laws that must be gazetted. You know?
Okay.
The suspension thing is not by executive order, not by proclamation. You start by proclamation, but it doesn't end. It's an act of the National Assembly that will gazette it formally, and then we restore back to office.
Okay.
Then we can have progress from there. And like people already commented, I'm hoping that we'll take it off from here. We'll not go back to the abyss that was witnessed before the March,
yes,
incident of the declaration. To progress, and then now governance will take a center stage. Because the River State will not have us to be the limelight and the news for all the wrong reasons.
okay. Okay, thank you very much, Professor Joe. We'll come back to you. Dr. Maxwell, now there is a statement in the public domain credited to Nyesom Wike that he said peace has returned to Rivers. Is Mr. Nyesom Wike or Barrister Nyesom Wike the man to determine when peace returns to Rivers and when peace or when anarchy starts in Rivers? So let's take you from there while you relate it to this Fubara reinstatement.
Okay, thank you. Viewers, thank you very much. Let me quickly
give us the good
correct
news.
the part of the statistics.
Okay.
Yes, I like statistics, I like figure.
Yes.
But I was the HOD of computer science,
Okay.
Benson Idausa University.
Okay.
That was before February, and I embarked on the sabbatical. I've been in Uniben since February till date. I'm the current HOD of cybersecurity, acting HOD of cybersecurity in Uniben. Okay. I'll be going back by January to my alma mater, which is Benson Idausa University. Okay. Yes, no, I need to go back to my alma mater.
Okay.
So thank you very much.
Yes.
In line with what you have said, naturally, or when you look at it from all angles, democracy and political unrest are interwoven.
Okay.
And this is as a result of personal interest. And this personal interest has a way of bringing up certain factors that may not be okay with X, Y, Z, but okay with the other parties. But be that as it may, the maturity in it is ability to come together and harmonize this personal interest so that we can forge a straight path that lead to democracy. But the first question, the question you raise, is it wicked that is the one not determining when the unrest is over or when it's not over? From day one this crisis started, when the president talk, all you hear is the voice of Wike from the president's speech. Truth be said. So why won't there be settlement when you have achieved your personal interest? And what is the personal interest right from day one? Is the structure of Rivers State. Because Wike fed this current governor has one way or the other bridge some fundamental structural guidelines that he placed on ground. So as a result, heaven must fall. And being that there are also other powerful interest persons who said, Governor, if you continue to toe this line, this man, yes, we understand he's your godfather, but the kind of godfather he is the one that will torment you to the very last point. So the man was trying to take a stand. Whether you like it or not, there is always a point when a man has to stand as a man. Because you cannot continue to be a puppet all through your life. I hate intimidation by my natural tendency.
Okay.
I hate oppression by my natural tendency. And when I see it being displayed, because I don't like oppressing someone, I don't like intimidating someone, I'm naturally objective because I believe in superior argument.
Okay.
So, but by the time I see this thing playing out in someone, just like what we have seen Wike has been playing out in Rivers State for more than almost more than 2 years now, more than 2 years, which further led to full suspension of Saint Fubara. But be that as it may, who is Wike to now actually determine when peace return to Rivers? So what he has succeeded in doing, using the federal mind to do in Rivers State, was to return the entire structure back to himself. As long as he has received the structure, he has the structure to himself. That is the peace.
Okay, okay. Now, but looking at this issue of Godfather,
yeah,
do you think we can actually remove that terminology from the Nigerian political landscape?
Okay.
Because we've seen governors about leaving office, they will produce a successor. That's being a godfather.
Yeah.
If you look at the grammatical meaning of godfather, it's so clear. You're talking about maybe a mentor, but we just look at it as godfather, and we look at it like one giant word. But no, that's what exists.
There are researches that have been conducted on godfatherism.
Yes.
But let me pick from dictionary, which actually states, if you look, godfatherism is primarily used in Nigeria. Primarily used in Nigeria.
Yes.
Now, when we were growing up in primary school, I want to believe my senior guys here. When we were growing up in primary school, there is always say, I'm the godfather. That's my God's son and everything. Now, what that means is that, okay, you have someone that you can always run to for a guy,
yes,
run for advice and everything. But you know, Nigeria has a way of taking something when it has been introduced. We have a way of magnifying it to a level where he become institutionalized. And at the end of the day, become a national thing and is like nothing wrong. And that's what has become what we see today, where, how did they define godfatherism? Godfatherism says someone that is politically inclined, very rich. If you follow all every research that has been done on godfatherism, also dictionary that has explained godfatherism, they will tell you is someone that is politically inclined, a name primarily used in Nigeria, which by virtue of that power install install their successor into all look and cranny. And when you have that in a system, it leads to monopoly. And whenever monopoly comes into a system, there is always a problem. So in an economy that wants to strive, in a society that wants to strive, you must do well not to monopolize your activities. But what we have seen the political class doing is that one person saying, I am the heaven and earth of this state. We saw it from Anene, the late Anene. He was the godfather of Edo State politics. If you must enter one office, you must go and seek his blessing. Now, these are people that are politically inclined, and they just pick someone. And by the time they pick, the negative side of Godfatherism is that they are not picking the choices of the people, but they just pick their choice and impose it on the people. These are the negative side of it. So, Godfatherism is a very serious issue that Nigeria must do well to come together, probably to hold a conference or create a mechanism or a systematic way to say that we don't want this kind of method again, and we want whereby someone can just come out and say, I want to run based on, because if no matter how rich you are, if you are not loyal to that godfather, you will not get that ticket.
Okay, we'll come back to you.
Yeah.
We need to know, I know that Professor Job is itching to make his comments. Is Godfather, the issue of Godfather, is it acceptable or unacceptable? We'll look at that immediately after this break. It's a delight to have you back on the program, Godfather, River State in Focus. That's what we are looking at, and we've seen that yes, Wike is the Godfather for now, and he produced the incumbent, Governor Fubara, and some persons believe that he was actually under the removal. He was behind the removal of Fubara, and is also responsible for the reinstatement. But we know that it's President Tinubu that will be making the comment. But some persons don't believe that, yes, Tinubu did that, but some persons were just foiling it from underneath. Well, Professor Job Odio, we just made a comment before the break. The issue of Godfatherism.
Yeah.
Has it come to stay? Is it acceptable? Is it unacceptable?
I think this issue has come up before again, like I said, we've been banning on some issues.
Yeah.
Let me start. I'm sure my colleague was defining Godfatherism.
Yes.
He was defining political Godfatherism.
Yes.
The definition is very typical.
Yes.
Yes.
Political Godfatherism. Because Godfatherism or Godfather
On a generic.
brother in the sense that we have a spiritual Godfather. At least in my faith, when you are baptized, you have a baptismal Godfather in the real of it.
Okay.
I will mentor you in your spiritual life and guide you.
Okay.
And then if you look at it from another angle, we have mentors and mentees. In our profession, like I said, your journalism, we have that who have mentors, who have mentored you, and of course, so we all have been mentees to some mentors
Yes.
in our career, in our profession, in our vocation.
Yeah.
When it gets our turn to also groom
Others.
you know, and so a godfather, in the sense of someone who grooms a person, who counsel a person and make you grow to a level where it says you are not achieved level of maturity.
Well, is that the case in politics?
Well, in politics now, our godfather in politics is a question of handpicking, like you rightly said. It's not handpicking, like you rightly said. And we have said that the way it is structured is going to be difficult to eradicate or erase godfatherism. And well, the question you asked, there's a question between moral wrong and legal wrong.
Yes.
Morally, you may find it reprehensible that one man decides for the entire constituency. Whereas it's also be, or even in a political party where you also have primaries. The Electoral Act has structured the procedure for the electoral primaries. We know that parties don't comply. There's little or no internal democracy within the parties because structures are hijacked by some persons who are political godfathers, although they will not call themselves that, they say political leaders. And then they are leaders.
Yeah.
So for every local government area, there's a leader.
Yes.
For every ward, there's a leader. And so when it comes to appointments, before your name is on the list of appointments, the ward leader or the government leader, you know how it is in the zone must, and append your signature that people all nominate or recommend you. So this gives undue leverage and power to these persons. And it's not supposed to be bad. A leader is someone who has the experience, who has the pedigree in the field, or in that as a politics. Somebody who has retired, who has been elected as governor, has served his term out after 8 years. He has gotten the experience. Before you became a governor, you were either local government chairmanship, you were once a commissioner, you were once a minister, you have probably seen it all. So your job is to guide whoever comes in. And it's nothing wrong about trying to encourage a successor that believes in your ideas and goals, your shared values, work, impact them with those values to work towards it. What is wrong is when you breach all manner of rules, laws, even the constitution to install, that person. And what is even now worse is when you don't give the person that freedom, that free hand to govern, because you feel he owes you allegiance, feel you have installed him. That is where we are remarkably different from other climes. Like I mentioned that the other climes, we still have level of godfatherism. Look at American politics, godfathers there. If you look at how President Barack Obama emerged, it was a level of godfatherism. He was a black young man who became a senator, and within 4 years he was already a president of the country. How did they make that? How was they chosen to make that speech at that conventional ground? It was godfatherism, and he says in his memoir that he benefited from a lot of goodwill. But those godfathers then, or leaders, saw him some potential.
Yes.
Saw him as a bright future that would become a president. And that's what a godfather should do. Look for this person's head, all people who are good within your team, who can follow your path through. And then when you give them that authority, you surrender it to them, give them some space. You play an advisory role. Don't become a dictator. Don't now become a tyrant within the system. So I think that's where our political are missing.
Okay, I'm just going to take a question from that for Dr. Maxwell. Now, it is that negative aspect that so many persons seem to associate the issue of Godfather in our own political system.
Yeah.
It is believed that the Godfather in our political system, after installing a public office holder, it dictates for him or her. It doesn't give room to allow that person to use his own intuition or his own knowledge and make his own decisions. So that aspect, we've seen what happened. Some in Edo State, former Governor Oshomole brought Governor Basaki. At the end of the day, they were no longer friends. Same thing happened in these same rivers. Yeah. Wike brought Fubara. At the end of the day, they were no longer friends. We have other examples in other states. It's not only in Edo or River. So how do we stop this negative aspect? If, like Prof has said, you see potentials in an individual, you say, oh no, this guy means well for Edo State, means well for Rivers, means well for Nigeria. At the end of the day, you are now controlling him.
Okay, I think let's begin from here.
Okay.
What has given rise to this godfatherism is this two term.
How do you mean?
Because I want to be governor again,
yes,
I must fall back to the structure that brought you in the first place. So automatically cage you as the sitting governor or as the sitting president. You find out that recently the chief of staff, the chief of staff to the president,
okay,
Bajabi Amila has to go to North to go persuade them much more than ever why they need to please to vote for the president, the current president. And that was a few months ago when the tension of the North will not support, the North will not support. He has to go because the body language was becoming too toxic for the president, because you have to fall back to them. And that was when you started hearing statements like he's not doing anything in the North and etc. That is the structure. So that has given rise to this godfatherism in a negative form. So because I knew that I have to return back to power, by the time the godfather is picking you, he's picking the checkmating system that goes with you. So that checkmating system that goes with you is the House of Assembly or the ESCO and everything. You find out from the case of the River State, more than 60% of the people working with the governor were actually not the governor people that he nominated by himself.
Okay, we'll come back to you, but that will be immediately after this break. Okay, nice to have you back on the program. 60 Minutes Nigeria. We're looking at that phenomenal Godfather. But this time we're looking at the River State Fubara, River State's governor Fubara and his Godfather. I won't say estranged again because they have settled. We can see them now always smiling. Wike is gradually even adding weight. An indication that the tension between him and Governor Fubara has abated. Well, Dr. Master, you were just talking about the negative side of this issue of Godfather. You need to explain.
Let me clarify that part. What has given rise to the seriousness of Godfatherism in politics is as a result of these two terms. Find out any parastatus where someone is meant to rule for 5 years, and you know you are to rule for 5 years. You know that the person that just left there has no say.
Yes.
Because you are not answerable to the person, because you knew quite all right that you are not coming back again. Like as a VC, there is no immediate past VC that will still be dictating for the current VC how to run the affairs of the university. Yes. Because there is nothing tying both of you together. If we have a system where this two-term thing can be eradicated, I believe it will drop Godfatherism in Nigeria to at least mitigate it to 20 or 30%. Even though we cannot eradicate it, because natural, all the word that we say, we know there is Godfather and everything. Someone must be able to identify you. But our case, we have a way of practicing it in the wrong way. Just like I said, this proclamation made by Tinubu, believe you or you take it, any president that comes will replicate the same thing, because we have a way of magnifying that bad thing. Even though Prof said it was constitutional, I differ a bit.
When Jonathan was president, we saw state of emergency in Borno, but the governor was not removed.
Because it was not like this.
Yes.
So where a sitting president will remove a democratically elected person and impose a sole administrator. It was not like this. So it's something that has come into being now, raised by the same Tinubu, President Tinubu, who fought for democracy, who his life has represented democracy. So now seeing some of all these things coming from him, people began to ask questions. What kind of Godfatherism are you trying to create? Now, the reason why the River State governor has to just, he didn't go to court, he couldn't and everything, have you not asked yourself, which sitting court? Prof is a lawyer, he's a son. We sit in court, okay. We sit in court as we speak, okay. We sit in court as we speak was able to entertain the case. So many people went to confide a case as it relates to this. Was there one court that sat and said, let's entertain this for this 6 months? No.
It's still on anyway, it's still on.
So that's to tell you that both the president of the country is playing Godfatherism in all ramifications. Godfatherism in judiciary, Godfatherism in politics, Godfatherism in all spheres of life. So what are we trying to say? If people knew quite all right that this president will not come back in the next 5 years, whatsoever you are saying, you are leaving any moment from now. Have you not found out that when it's 2 years to some people leaving offices, some person began to withdraw their support because they know definitely you are living there, you are not coming back. So it will reduce it to the barest minimum. But as it stands, with this structure of democracy that we have, that I know I want to become 2-term governor or 2-term president and everything, it will continue to strive.
Okay, Prof, the way forward.
Okay, thank you. Well, let me start by saying that the issue of removal of governor, if you declare something, it's not peculiar to Tinubu's regime. You know, when this issue was very live and hot, we referenced what happened during Obasanjo's regime.
Yes.
So let us not forget
The
that.
Ekiti case.
So it's nothing new, really. Just a question of people citing Jonathan's own as what we call a bad precedent. A bad president. Jonathan, like I said, was trying to be politically correct. So he declared of emergency, we call free security. You let the governor remain there. That is half measures, really. So let us not dwell on that. Then the matters are already before the court. I don't know if the people that want to call have what we call local standard, but it's, like I said, it's still academic. So now moving forward, I agree with him that our electoral system, encourages Godfatherism. That's the truth. It does. It does, and not just from the angle he has seen it. That may be one perspective, though. Yeah. But we need to also know that whether the issue of Godfatherism starts from the very process of election and nomination.
The primaries.
It's not tied to only elections, even appointments. And the ministers you have now, when each of them will have a godfather that nominated them. It's, the commissioners you have in the state now, some will have godfathers also who were behind them. So then it comes the electoral process. At the point of election, the godfatherism may be responsible why people who are not qualified, who are not experienced, who are not stable, get into office they ought not to get to. Because it's not about whether you remain there for 8 years. If a bad workman gets to the seat, he can do havoc in 1 hour or less. So when you don't streamline the electoral process to ensure that the right candidate are elected or appointed, the godfathers will be the bridge, they will midwife the process and get the wrong hands into office. You get the point. So the starting point is how do you prevent them from doing that? So that is why I believe that, as suggested by the Luis panel, 2008, more than 18 years or thereabout now, independent candidature.
Yeah.
We must not be so fixated on these political party things that they must sponsor a candidate.
Can independent candidature really work? Looking at the kind of political terrain structure in Nigeria.
It's a starting point. No, let's not.
But you've seen somebody like Tunde Bakare, a man that is regarded as, he said God spoke to him. No, and at the end of the day, how many votes did he get?
That's between him and God. Please, let's God
no, why I brought that
to everybody.
Why
God speaks to you too and myself. See, the point I'm making is that the electoral process is about popularity votes.
Yes.
So let's start. It's a starting process. If when Uwais recommended this independent candidate in 2007, we started it 18 years after, we have made some headway. So if you can have it so that those who emerge as candidates will not be tied to one apron string of one godfather. Some will also argue that yes, we have a lot of political parties now, so there are options. So it's almost like having independent candidates because you can contend on that
any platform. Party. Just like some persons have already pitched tent with ADC ahead of 2027.
So the discussion is just the tip of the iceberg. The entire overhauling of our electoral system, which includes not monetizing the system. Our system is very highly monetized. You mentioned the political party is the one who has money. So the man who has money is the one who can buy votes, as Nigeria are buying votes now, who can buy delegates. So if you don't monetize the process, people can still come to parties without having a godfather because I don't need money to contest because I know I'm popular, I'm suitable. And then if your electoral umpire does the right thing, I wonder if I go to that electoral umpire includes the party primaries too.
Okay.
If the parties are made of internal democracy, and you say it is delegate, I know I'm popular in my party, and I want to go for House of Assembly, to House of Rep, and I say I cannot go. It's Mr. A. I said, no, let's go and test ourselves with the popularity. If you go to the primaries and I know that you're not going to rig the election, you're going to go to one corner and nominate somebody while you are waiting in the field. We are waiting in the open field for primaries. There's one leader's house, and they are raising
they've announced
and then when you go to call, say it's an internal party affair. Yes. You have no jurisdiction. If the process is well tailored, that when I come out, I say I want to contest, and you say you go, I am with the masses. I mean, you cannot do the cannot say that's the policy of Talakawas. I say I'm with the masses. If I want to bind them bole or whatever, they will like me. But you coach your minions. But the day of primaries, if I come with my people, they will chase us out and lock us out. So the structure of our electoral system is also a big problem. Okay. But it's not. It's a very long process that requires a lot of surgical operation. You know, okay. I mentioned one, a single tenure thing. Yes, it's been proposed. The current electoral reforms or constitutional amendments going around the state now, which they are doing. I hope they will do it right this time around. They are proposing 6 years. A single term of 6 years.
Jonathan that first actually muted that idea.
Muted it, but you know, because he wanted to also benefit from it. That's why it was also a problem. You know, so these things, when you want to gender changes, try and be neutral in the process.
Yeah,
don't do something to benefit from it.
Yes.
Like we are sharing food, you want to pick first. We share food, let others pick first. That's when we're growing up. If you share, the younger one should pick. Because
Yes.
So if it is done properly, the 6-year single tenure for president, governors can help. Just the way we are saying it can help at a certain point. Then independent candidates can help. Then we can now look at the issue of electoral acts, monetization of vote buying, and so many things. So that once the process is transparent, just imagine you are doing e-voting, electoral voting. I'm saying we want to do electoral voting. If I am doing another professional like my professional MBA, and I will do e-voting. If we are doing electronic voting, where I know that the Godfather cannot access people in their homes, it's just my smartphone, wherever I am. Even if you send me money, I'm not bound to vote for who you care, because it's electronic, it's digital. And the electoral umpire will not compromise the process, and the votes will be read, will be shown on the screen as it's done in that time. Where will the Godfather feature in that place?
Okay. I
can damn the Godfather and do my own quietly through other means of campaigning and still get there, starting from the councillorship and chairmanship.
Okay.
That is the way
we'll come back to you, Prof.
Yes.
Dr. Maxwell, now we've established the fact that, yes, the issue of God's fathers in Nigerian politics seem to be a monster that we cannot just eradicate just like that. Now, Fubara has been reinstated. What's your advice to Fubara? What should be the expectations? What should Fubara be thinking of? Is it retract? Is it to go back and begin to behave the way he behaved that led to that suspension? Or he should just be loyal to Wike and ensure that he completes his term? What's your advice generally?
He doesn't have choice as it stands. Truth be said, because the powers are against him, and the people that ought to have stood with him before now, the same person who is fighting him is also fighting those organizations, the PDP and the opposition that ought to have stood with him.
Yes.
So Wike is a very strategic and well systematic politician whose system has ability to crash down so many things. Very strategic in his ways. So as it stands, he knew quite all right that he just to do the remaining 2 years or thereabout left, so that he will just retire, because as it stands right now, he's a puppet, whether you like it or not. What Wike was looking for was to use the presidency to intimidate the guy and put the guy to a level where just do your 4 years and go away.
You think he will not come back for a second term?
If Fubara comes back to that position, you know only God will intervene. It means, I'm sorry to say, it means that Wike is not in this country.
They are reconciled. May just like him.
They reconciled.
May just say come back.
May just say come back.
If he's loyal for his next 2 years,
yes.
Come back for his next 6 years.
And once he comes back,
that reconciliation.
You don't trust it.
No, these are all political reconciliation. The damage has been done. But my advice to him, as it stands, since there is nobody to stand with you, and you are the first Ijaw person to have ruled Rivers thereabout, and even in the process of it, or the Ijaw people could not hold their ground fully, and they have the population in Rivers. But I wonder why it has to turn this way. My brother, just suffer, do the remaining 2 years. Then you go your house. Thank you.
Okay, Prof.
Okay,
yes, because we need to, you never can tell. Maybe some aides could just be watching.
Of course.
Now, this man,
online,
this man has come back.
Pick it up at any time,
So, what are your expectations?
No, like I hinted before when the tea was hot. He has come. I know, like my friend has said, he's been humbled and slightly battered. I could see that myself. So, but I think what matters is that when it comes to governance, he should stick to the ethos and the regulations of governance. He should focus now on the people. The House of Assembly is back. I know they will have their own topsy-turvy, but he should work with them harmoniously to ensure if the budget is equal to be passed or
it has been passed.
Take care of so prepare for the one for next year. Work towards legacy projects that the Rivers will remember him for. Let him not be remembered for the feud he had with Wike. Wike has done his 8 years. Wike was called Mr. Project before he left.
Exactly.
8 years, so he did. So let him do something now. I want to do something with him in 2 years. Yeah, be loyal to your godfather, in quotes, play the politics with him. But as a loyal godfather, extract someone that say, please, I want to do this project, I will do it. It should be project driven, not just human capital development, not employee boys who will be
not stomach infrastructure.
Because that's what he appears to be doing, gathering people to come and be fighting for him, and I'm sure a lot of money went in all those. No, do projects that will outlive your regime and outlive the feud you had with Wike. And so even if you are going to live in 2 years, as my colleague is predicting, there's something to be remembered for.
Yes.
Educational sector, health sector, whatever sector, just pick some legacy projects and do it. And then I can assure you if he does those things for the next 2 years and he's still loyal, he might come back.
Okay.
His governance is like, might come back.
Anything can happen.
All they wanted from him was loyalty. If you are loyal, you can serve as long as the godfather wants. Because what's the guarantee that another person brought now will be loyal to the Wike?
Yes.
The person brought may not be as humble as Fubara is. Fubara is a humble person, but even though
is Fubara humble or he was humbled?
No, it's naturally humble, but he had to rebel at a point, like you said. When he was pushed to the way, he had to rebel at a time, but somehow they still bent him backward again like the okra. The okra cannot grow better than the master. So when he tried to be someone, the master, but with the aid of president, like I said, I think that we have to be practical. With the aid of
because that period of the fight, Wike lost weight. It was obvious.
He was worried too now because until the intervention from by way of the proclamation, the Wike was losing traction now. The governor had taken care of a lot of ends within the state. Okay. The governor was in some form of control, and Wike was losing face in Rivers State, so he had to go for the master stroke. Okay. Rightly or wrongly.
Yeah, we'll come back. We have a lot to still talk about. But that will be after this brief break.
Okay.
Okay, nice to have you back again. And for my viewers out there in the UK, United States, and different parts of the world, thanks for being a part of 60 Minutes Nigeria. We are actually dissecting the issue of Godfather in Nigerian politics, concentrating on what transpired in Rivers State that has to do with Governor Fubara and, of course, the ex-vice governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, who is now the FCT minister. In the FCT, Wike has been admired too because of the different projects, though you must always get dissenting voices as well. Yeah. But let's not leave Rivers, because Rivers is very dear to us. Dr. Maxwell, now we've seen a situation that most persons who are picked by a governor to be a successor, once the elections are conducted and they are sworn in, some of them bring out their true colors. Are they not supposed to let whoever is picking them understand that this is my nature? I don't expect that you'll be controlling me like a baby. Don't you think there should be that kind of behavioral attitude?
Okay. Yes. Thank you. Fubara would have succeeded if Wike didn't have that presidency power, that federal might. He would have succeeded. The reason why Oshomole could not fight Obaseki is because Buhari careless. So if not, if Buhari was someone that was like this political president that we have,
Tinubu,
he would have done the same thing. But be that as it may, why do you agree to something and at the end of the day you will not do it? It's a two-way thing, sir. I'm sorry to bring this in. I'm a pastor. Galatians 6:7 says, be not deceived. God is not mocked.
Yes.
For whatsoever a man sow, he reaped. I want to believe you know where I'm going.
Yes.
So if you, as the Godfather that handpicked someone, you are not giving someone laid down rules to follow, of which your antecedent also speak volume of how you did not follow the letters.
Yes.
And you are not asking A and B to follow the letter. It's just like our children that read our body language. even though we are telling them, they believe in the body language than what we are saying.
Yeah.
So if you are telling me something, and I know that your body language is the XYZ, take it or you leave it. We all know the power of a governor. If not this presidency, I do not see how Wike would have, because we saw Wike fought his predecessor, tooth and nail, the person who brought him from nowhere to where he was before he became minister, as a minister of state for education and everything. He was the chief of staff to Amechi and etc. He did the same thing. So are you not saying Fubara doing the same thing to him is out of order? That's why I said let's look at it from 2 weeks.
But don't you think some political gladiators were using Fubara to fight Wike?
It's part of what I said. Galatians C7. Patient Jonathan used Wike to fight Amechi. They fought Amechi to stand still. They use him. So if other political class are using him to fight, using Fubara, it's not still out of order.
Yes.
Because it's the same statutory order of politics.
Yeah.
But having said that, why commit yourself to something that you know you cannot continue? When you look at the template that is being given to you, is anti-people, and you actually want to serve people, why not say to yourself that, please, it's not money you don't have.
Yeah.
After all, you were the second,
you
were the finance
budget or something.
No, he was the accountant, the chief accountant
general.
So everything that Wike did, you were aware. So plus or minus, that's why he picked you. You could have just said, okay, let me stay and just be myself. After all, they say good name is better than riches.
Thank you very much, Professor Joe Bodio.
Okay.
As you conclude.
Okay, like you rightly observed.
Yes.
See, the Godfather team, like I hinted privately, we are not privy to the terms and conditions reached by these parties.
Okay.
Whatever terms reached is an illegal contract, because whatever they agreed was not in the interest of the people. They were, like you said, it was about personal interest. So the one who accepted to be a godson, when you knew there were other gladiators, there were other people who contested to be governor of Rivers State.
Yes.
There were so many of them who challenged Wike when he was candidate, who are stronger politically, who are known, who could have fought Wike better. But they were silenced. But you desire to be governor. So you are dining with the devil, you didn't come with a long spoon.
Yeah.
You must come with a long spoon. So you want to be governor, so you were desperate, so you accepted all the conditions, even if it meant all the commissioners named for you.
Yes.
I'm told the former governor now Wike paid their ticket, paid for their primaries, and everything was bankrolled. And it's most of the time they will rig election for you to become governor. When you know you're not popular, you're not even a politician like the one we had in our state here, that was governor. So when you accept those conditions, assuming, then you must accept what comes to you. It's not called
whatever goes with it.
Not fit in Juria. Then for the Godfather, when you have so many eggheads, so many qualified candidates, some will bypass the deputy governor and install a commissioner that serves. Some will go and install a permanent secretary. Like this man was a civil servant. You had the deputy governor, you had commissioners that served you. That you have political associates. You bypass those who are more qualified, who are more experienced, because you are scared that they will challenge you. You are scared they will not be your puppet. You pick somebody who is not even qualified, who is not even competent for the job, who doesn't have the political sagacity or wherewithal to fight for the people and yourself. You pick him and install him and expect him not to change when power has. Even those you sideline, you pick him,
yes.
You come and meet him and say, so what I see is, yes, it's biblical, so what you reap, which translates to karma, as the atheists will say.
Yes.
So it's what you sow, you reap. So both the Godfather and the Godson, they are involved in a cocoon that is about to swallow them, or that can swallow them. But what I keep saying that don't let it affect
the masses.
The masses. Because we're not there when we're doing your
Thank you very much.
We're not there. So governance must go on, and that is what I expect to happen in Rivers in the next 2 years.
Thank you very much, Professor Joe Bodio. I also want to express my gratitude to Dr. Maxwell Osaige, who is actually on sabbatical at the University of Benin. I hope you've enjoyed the program. 60 Minutes Nigeria. We hope that what happened in the last 6 months will be a very, very important tutorial to all governors so that they can actually evolve policies that can be of benefit to the people. The issue of Godfather cannot be eradicated. So if you accept to be under a Godfather, be loyal in toto to avoid the Governor Fubara scenario. On that note, I say thanks for being a part of the program. Bye-bye.